All right, welcome to the Loon Effekt podcast, where we talk about everything, anything, and nothing at all. With me is Brian.
What up?
And we got David.
What's going on?
David Grabenschoerer, one of my buddies, and I'm Louie.
This is the Luna Effect.
Yeah, I forgot to say my name.
You should get a cutaway thing like this is a Luna Effect.
The Luna. We're working
You guys
on
can make one.
on an intro. We are working on an intro, actually. Or we're thinking about it and working on an intro, I guess we should say. Brian thought of some ideas. What was it? The anime you said something?
Well, we were kind of wanted to add some type of old school hip hop type of track. You know, just something kind of laid back. You know,
Making it yourself?
maybe.
Maybe.
There's some free shit that you can get.
So I got some people I know that I could probably ask to help out.
You got
With an
any
intro.
you got any software on there as far as like Fruity Loops or anything like that?
You know, GarageBand?
Hey, no, hey, you say that about GarageBand, but my iPad I got I got
we
this
could do
adapter cable. Dude, you can't. That's the thing about iPads and Apple products right now is I got a 16 gig and I use it for work. I got this software. It's going to go from like the year 2000 of every make and model all the way to current, and now they're rolling out the 18. So I literally just stopped being able to update it because I ran out of storage on it. You can't add storage on your Apple, like your Apple products, your phones, that, you know what I mean? So with that, I ain't got shit else to do but, get a new one, and I can't sell that shit. I already dropped it once, replaced the screen. Siri comes on randomly and shit like that. So, I mean.
Do they have memory things for it? Like
Well, you got
little
your
hard drives?
You got your iCloud that you can buy more space.
Oh,
from
yeah,
it.
you
See,
got the
that's how they
iCloud,
get you.
yeah.
They want you to buy that. You know what I
Keep
mean?
it at 99 cents.
Yeah.
99 cents a month.
That's 50 gigs it gives you.
I think so. The 99 cent one.
That's a lot of room.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing that necessitates over 50 gigs?
Well, whenever you use the storage on your phone, it goes up there, right?
Yeah, like my phone, I had 32 gigs on it, and I ran out of, I've been to different, places, Mexico, Colorado, California. I take all my pictures,
Yeah, if you take a lot of
and
pictures
I
on
was
your
like
phone,
running out of space.
Runs
And plus,
out of space quick.
get videos and stuff on there, like full-length videos and stuff like that to rewatch. It's going to take up your storage just like that.
like going to concerts and stuff, like sitting there just filming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, stuff that you're probably not gonna watch ever again, but
Hey,
there's a
It's the
bunch of-
memory. Hey, like I said, I was just chilling in bed one night, just looking at my phone, looking at, the pictures of Mexico. I relived it, you know what I mean? The smells,
Yeah.
just the people, the atmosphere, just from the pictures. That's what it's about. I mean, you do the videos. I used Google Maps the other day just to navigate the streets, just to be like, oh, man, I was there.
Oh yeah, that's
I was there. That's cool, yeah.
I mean, you're in photography, so you know all that. Like you look through your pictures and
3 years of my pictures were,
deleted. Yeah.
well, not quite. The information is there. That's that when I was telling you, I ended up accidentally formatting it, part of it. So hopefully we can get it back. But you're a photographer.
I'm not. No, I
No,
just.
you are.
You
I
are.
thought you said, well, when he
No.
was taking his pictures and
I mean,
stuff.
you're just taking pictures of, oh, dang, that looks cool. Oh, I want to remember this. I'll take a picture of that. Just the streets of Mexico, man. That's crazy. Up in the mountains, you went to Colorado. That shit.
Yeah.
Even though a picture, sometimes you just can't get that full atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like you're out there. You got that 360 view. Even though now they got those 360 camera views, but even though just being there, like I said, even a smell, just a certain smell. If you smell it here, for example, Fabuloso, my hotel, you know what Fabuloso is? It's kind of like Pine Sol, but
Yeah.
just
The
different
Mexican
brand.
version.
Yeah, the Mexican
That's
version.
what I
That shit smells better than Pine Sol to me.
Yeah.
But they were cleaning the hotel with that in the hotel I stayed at in Colorado. And I come back here, I use it at home. I'm like, damn, it just reminds me of being in Colorado. It was really cool.
I liked. You went to Colorado Springs, right?
Colorado Springs, yeah.
was
Denver
it?
for a little bit, but
Manitou, I think it's called, right? You went to Pikes Peak. And all
Pikes
that.
Peak,
Yeah.
that was cool. I only went like halfway up though because it started snowing a little bit up there,
Oh,
and it
really?
was kind of sketchy. I mean, I get why they don't want people to be driving all the way up these slick roads, and sometimes you come down and people are on your ass, and you're just like, whoa, I'm going 25 because I ain't trying to go over this cliff. I don't know, people they race that shit, I guess.
Uh,
I don't
So I
know.
don't know. But I know, like, when we went, it was raining. So
Mhm.
like it was like super foggy. You couldn't see that much. You saw maybe the headlight or the tail lights of the car in front of you. But like at the edge
Oh,
of the
shit.
cliff, like it was all like just cloudy, dark. Yeah. So we were going up there. But as we were going up, so on top of the mountain, it was all raining. Down, it was like fine when we were going up. So there was like a storm coming. But it was still dope. Like I didn't get to see the whole view from up on top of the mountain. So next time, I know we want to go again, and I want to. Hopefully, we get there when it's daytime and no rain and shit. But we went there and it was all dark, and we got to the top. You couldn't see nothing, you know. But we got to the top of Pikes Peak. Damn. You get to drive up there. Have you ever been up there?
No.
You've been to Colorado though. You go there, don't you?
Yeah, we've got some friends that live there, and it's a beautiful state.
Yeah.
Expensive. But I mean, it's gorgeous. We did. My brother and I did some mountain biking up there with one of his friends from Chicago, and it was a good time.
Were you winded at all? Were you winded?
No, because you've got the ski lifts that they take you up, and it's basically cutbacks. You know, going down the hill. I mean, you might have to pedal a little bit just to kind of keep your momentum going, but other than that, I recommend taking it easy because you can lose your bike real fast. My brother ended up shaving his knee or his shin clean open, and that was the end of the trip. Luckily, it was the last day, but it's fun. Those trails.
I want to go back. I went there, and even what was it? The Garden of the Gods.
Oh yeah.
All that red rock is just like awesome, man.
Did you climb up any of it?
No, we drove in it. We were only there for maybe 2 days, so we kind of had to like do everything pretty quick.
I was there for 3, so I know what you mean. Every like vacation that I've been taking lately, it's been like 3 or 4 days. So every day, do as much as you can.
Yeah.
If it rains,
Try
to do it.
Cave of the Winds.
That was crazy too. Yeah.
We did the ride. Did you do the? They had the bungee cord things. Like
swings you across it.
And then we did the. I don't know what that one was called.
Are you talking about like the zip lines?
Yeah, it's like a zip line. Yeah.
But are you sitting in a chair with like over vest? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't do that, and I mean, I don't know.
It's a huge line too.
It wasn't when I went. I even got the military ID. The guy said, You got a military? Are you military? I was like, I forgot my ID. He's like, all right, cool. Just roll me up. Like, cool. Give me half price on everything here, please.
I play Call of Duty.
I play Call of Duty. Yeah.
Or I could be like those fake valors that you've been seeing videos on Facebook about. People just buying the uniforms and stuff and just wearing them out like they did something in life. You know what I mean? Just to get respect. I guess they don't get respect in their life, so they need to wear the costume. You know what I mean?
You usually see a lot of
or the
those
uniform.
videos.
I say costume, but it's a costume for them.
Well, yeah, it is technically, I guess. But you see a lot of those videos posted on like Facebook, like during Christmas time. A bunch of like people wearing like
going to the mall and stuff like that.
Yeah, going to the mall trying to get sales and all that. I saw a lot like a year ago about that. People just calling people out that are military. Say, what's this? What company you in and all this?
Yeah,
they're like, major. He says major on his phone. He's like, so they're major one. Oh, you're shopping with your major, huh? It's like, yeah, I gotta go. You know, but yeah, it's a joke. Damn. But anyways, yeah, Colorado Springs. I love that place, and I think it's Colorado Springs, but it's Manitou's where we stayed at. It had a nice little downtown area and a lot of weed shops everywhere. And just
I stopped there. I stopped at 2 of them. It was great.
We've all stopped there.
It was great. Actually, I overdid it, honestly. I took 2 pieces of chocolate, and I walked into this place, and I said, you probably don't know anything because I had a kidney transplant. You know, you probably don't know anything medically about this, but is it cool to take it? He's just like, and I was like, you know what? I don't even know why I asked that question. Let me get one of those chocolate bars there. And I was like, how much you think I should take? He was like, well, I smoke every day, and I take like, 30 to 40. So you get 10 pieces. They're all 10 milligrams each, right? So he takes 30 to 40 milligrams, probably 40 if he wants to get really fucked up. Because I took 2 of them. I said, you know what? I used to smoke years back, you know, when I was in high school and that kind of thing. So I know what to expect. Oh, fuck. Was I wrong, man? I went back to the apartment, and my girlfriend, she's straight edge, so she don't do anything, and she was cool with me doing it. So I was like, I took 2 of them. I was like, I'm gonna go take a shower. After I was done with the shower, I was like, it started setting in. Now they got these long johns that are pre-wrapped. They're called Negritos. You know what those are? The Bimbo brand. And we had 2 left. I was like, hey, can I get one of those Bimbos? She's like, yeah, have both if you want. It's like, no, I'll just have one. That's cool. I ate it. 10 minutes go by. Like, hey, can I get that other Negrito? And she was like, yeah, have it. But even after that, we started watching For the Old Virgin. And I seen it as like a set. You know what I mean? It was the part where he was driving his bike and chasing after his girlfriend that he just got in a fight with. And he hit a car, went flipped, laid on the ground. On the interstate. I think it was the interstate. It was a really busy street anyways. A big old semi came to a stop. All the traffic came to a stop. She ran up to him. She's like, "Oh, my God, are you okay?" And he's just like, he was really sappy and that, like, just real, I don't know, weak-hearted. He's 40-year-old fucking virgin. What do you expect? You know what I mean? And I just seen, like, the lights from the set beaming down on him. I'm like, nobody's running out of these cars, running this, asking this dude if he's okay.
I remember you saying this shit.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Later, still
I just seen it as a whole. I just seen it as a movie production. It's still funny though. I mean, it's a funny ass movie, but after that, I started shaking and stuff because it was such a strong dose of. That's why they were saying edibles sometimes is even worse now than smoking.
Yeah,
they're more concentrated.
High. Too. It's a different high.
It lasts longer, It's like when you take a pain pill, it lasts 4 to 6 hours. You smoke weed, it might last 2-3 hours. Depends on how much you smoke, what you smoke. Now they got these waxes and shit out here.
I think it just gets stronger and stronger every year. It's like, oh, check out this dab oil. Fuck that. We don't even smoke joints anymore. Take this dab, bro. Like, dude, check this oil out. You just drink it.
I remember we had to pick the seeds out of our shit, back in the day. Hey, you got the Reggies? I don't want to pay KB price right now. I'll get them Reggies.
Yeah, the Reg.
Maybe you're smoking the blunt. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, man, you left the seeds in there, man. Come on. You lazy son of a bitch.
Oh, man. Good times, though. But, yeah, shit just gets stronger and stronger now. It's like, check out, and now I guess people are getting sick, actually. Marijuana was cool. Like, everybody's like, oh, there's no medical shit on it. No one's dying from it. But, now they're it's so potent and so I don't know what they put in it or how
people
they make
dying off of this.
No, I don't think. I think you made that up. Get the fact checker out because
yeah, you gotta check it out. No, but there's people getting sick. I thought because they're sitting there eating these candies.
Yeah,
just so much THC, whatever they have in it. It's THC, right?
Yeah,
they're just getting sick and sending people. I mean, maybe they're just scared, they're paranoid or something. I don't know. But kids getting sick and going to hospitals.
But you say they're getting sick, but also marijuana and CBD is saving lives out there. It's saving so many lives, more lives than this damn pharmaceutical stuff's doing for you.
I mean, juicing's the same way, dude. You could do do vegetables and any greens, and it could take away anxiety pills. People are like depression and shit. It's like you just need to go outside, take some walks, stop taking the pills and eating healthy. Change your life. It'll give you more energy. I don't know much about it, but I've seen some podcasts on pharmaceutical stuff and people on depression pills and how it just for a year they'll be on these pills and they'll just be in a state of fuck it, they just don't want to do anything, don't talk to their friends, and instead of they don't work out, they're just at home. That's all they do is take these pills and it chills them out, I guess, but it doesn't help the problem.
It masks it.
Yep.
That's
yeah,
what it
there
is.
you go. It masks.
A good thing about seizures and stuff. That's what I'm talking about when I say it helps medically. I mean, there's countless videos out there that these kids are sitting there having seizures. Yeah. And, they take their pharmaceutical pills and they ain't doing nothing. Sometimes they have adverse side effects, you know what I mean? And then they take the CBD under the tongue, bilingual, the CBD oil, that kind of stuff, and boom, it's gone. They're done having their seizures. They're done, shaking, people with the shakes and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah. I had a conversation about this, how we I don't know if it was ever, I don't know if we had a podcast or what, but we talked about how money kind of rules everything around the
root of all evil.
Get the money.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, everything has a price. It seems like in this world, anything that's gonna there's pharmaceuticals with cancers and people with cancer and different things. It's a big money in chemo, or in pills.
That's the exact thing I'm talking about. That's
big
exactly
money.
What I'm talking about.
And
it all relates.
If you have a cure, the people, these big pharma, the people's pockets are gonna get hit. They're gonna try to shut you out or find a way okay, that's a cure, but that's not making money for me, So same thing with anything, oil, same way. I
mean, there's countless stories out there of people that have cancer, you know what I mean? And then they start taking that CBD on a daily basis, and tumors are shrinking. Being a kidney transplant, a patient, I take these pills, and there's 2 of them that they send you a sheet with all these side effects on there. I mean, stuff that affects your brain. I can get cancer. I've already went once because I had this a nodule just show up on my nose, and I was
seepage.
Anal seepage
that could. Sometimes it happens. I mean, Then another company makes Depends. The Men Depends. I ain't trying to wear a diaper all day. You know what I mean? So, but even with that, my chance of cancer goes up by 50%. I've actually talked to people on Facebook and social media from where it's legal, Denver, LA, that kind of stuff, and they're saying they don't even take their meds anymore. They're taking just like it's a mix. It's like 50% THC, high CBD strains, that kind of stuff, and it's actually helping their body not reject the kidney, because that's why you take the medicine anyways, to kill your immune system, and then it doesn't affect your kidney. Now I can't do that here, obviously, tempt that don't take my medicine and all that, but if you can do that without adverse side effects, I don't see why you wouldn't. Obviously I know why they won't let that out, because that company's going to go out of business, and they supply every kidney transplant patient out there with this medicine, and it's expensive, man. Just like I started getting kind of worried a little bit, with Trump being in office and everything like that. They're talking about pre-existing conditions. I have a pre-existing condition, and it's a life or death one. You know what I mean? If he cuts my medical or makes that go up where I can't even afford it anymore, I die. You know what I mean? I can't afford that shit.
Genetically, you're fucked. I mean, it's your fault.
It's my fault.
It's your fault.
I think it's Jesus' fault, man.
You pissed him off.
I must have did something.
Something.
Man, I used to go to Catholic church back in the day. I've said my, what was that when you go confessions? I've done confessions, and he's still out for me. I get it.
He's like, you didn't. There's a lot of shit you left out. You didn't tell this guy.
I'm not gonna tell everybody.
Sitting in his screen door
because it ain't Jesus. If Jesus came down and I seen him, I'd be like, hey, Jesus, let me talk to you. You know what I mean? But this priest, I don't know what he's doing. Nobody knows what he's doing.
It could have been Brian on the other side, just sitting there. He's like,
well, it can't be me, because I've got $9,000 in chemo pills that I do a month.
See? Yeah, I think Louise told me a little bit about that. Because I might have to get this lymph node out, because I thought it might have been cancer because it was swollen, that kind of stuff. But it ended up not being cancer. But then he told me about you had some form of cancer.
Yeah, it's CML. So if you're going to have leukemia, this is the one that you want to have. Not that you'd want to have any of them, but
this is
the one that is manageable. I've had it for 4 years, and when the bomb was dropped on me, your white counts, I want to say, are supposed to be 4,000, and your reds are I'm not quite sure the facts are, but maybe 300 to 500, something like that. My whites were over 600,000 over.
600,000?
600,000 over. I was over 500,000 over my counts, and it was my deathbed. The story goes, I was starting to bruise heavily when I was waking up, and I was like, where are all these bruises coming from? And so my mom said, well, you're probably vitamin deficient of some sort. Go ahead and have your blood checked, get it looked at, don't wait. And I ended up waiting a couple of days. But on a Thursday, when I was working for a dealership, I just decided that I needed to go. And so I went and had my blood drawn, and they wouldn't tell me anything, but they just said, you're going to be admitted into the hospital. You don't have a choice. Well, what's going on? Well, they're not divulging any information. So we'll let you in on everything that's going on, but you need to get over there. So in a frantic panic, I call up my brother, and Jesse's with me, and they meet me over there, and no one's telling us anything. We get up into the room that is in my very near future that I'll be staying in for a while. And the nurse on call comes in, and she goes right to the grid board, and she's writing shit down, and I don't know what the fuck it says. And Jesse said something along the lines of, are you going to tell us what's going on? And she flips around without missing a beat and says, oh, well, you're the new chemo patient, right? And I said, what? It just your life, just come crashing down. Like, I have cancer. So the first thing you're thinking of is saying goodbye to everyone. That's it. And 6 months, not 6 months prior, 6 years prior to that diagnosis, you had 6 months to live, and it was like clockwork. So I would have been gone almost 5 years ago, I would have been gone December 2nd off of this planet.
Jesus Christ.
Gone. Yeah. And I dropped a lot of weight. I think I was probably down to, I think our average weights are for our height, they're supposed to be somewhere around 170, something like that. And I was at like $135.
Yeah, that is.
So it was bad, and so my oncologist, who I was assigned to, who I still am, he comes in, he gives me the whole rundown and everything like that, and lets me know that, okay, so what you have is CML, and it's totally manageable. I take 2 pills in the morning, 2 pills at night, and yeah, $9,000. $9,000 before insurance, so it helps to have insurance. But now you're talking about, insurance could be kind of sketchy with who's in office. But so it's manageable, and there's 6 other medicines that they have developed since. So if your body acclimates to it, then you have some contingencies. But yeah, so been in remission for 3 years now, and wow, so it's
still alive.
That's
Still
good to
alive,
hear.
on the right side of the
In
dirt.
remission. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
You know, my mom had cancer twice. One early stage breast, and then one in her lungs on her 5-year follow up to go back and check on the previous breast cancer. Told her she had this spot on her lungs, so they had to cut off a chunk of her lung. I mean, it's
scary.
You don't know where the cancer comes from. I mean, there's so many theories out there today. Smoking obviously is one of them, but she don't smoke. Drinking, they say that can cause other cancers. She don't drink, but processed food. Processed food. That's the thing that's killing so many people right now in America. That's
and it seems like it's grown over the past 10 years. Just cancer, you hear like little kids having it now and stuff, and yeah, I mean, everything seems like in the store, everything has sugars and chemicals to keep that
preservatives,
yes, to keep it fresh for however months, years at a time.
Well, when you look at those naked juices, they say fresh juice. You
Yeah.
look at the ingredients, there's some stuff you don't know what they're talking about on there, and that's because you can't keep fresh, grinded up, or cold pressed, or however they do it in their processed juice on the shelf for that long. Sometimes they're on there for 6 months, 8 months. You know what I mean? You can't keep fresh juice like that. It'll go bad.
Yeah.
That's why juicing at home, like you're starting to do right now, is good for you, but then you got to watch out for the non-organic stuff that they make indoors or even outdoors, they spray with pesticides and all that. You want to clean it and make sure you get
Netflix, they have a bunch of these
I've watched at least 5 of them. I know what you're talking
about.
about.
And all
That's a
different
good one.
ones. But on one of them, I don't know which one, because my girl is watching a bunch, and she's the one that started juicing, before me. So she's getting me involved in this now, and they were talking about, watch out, like, if you want to get organic, it's more expensive, but they're saying, like, even if you get the other fruit and stuff that's not organic with the pesticides and everything they add to it, it's like, that's still way better than the food, like, the preservatives that they add into, like, anything else, like burgers and stuff that you buy. You can still buy this fruit, and it's not going to affect you. There's a certain percent that says, like, you get of this, like, stuff after you wash it,
Do you have like a cleaner for it, or what do you use to wash your vegetables?
Just the sink.
Just the sink. Just put them in on the water. Yeah, they got this all natural kind of cleaner too. It's like a citrus cleaner they use from like citrus fruits, that kind of stuff. That it'll start
Was
to.
the citrus fruit sprayed with pesticides before they?
See, that's
I
hope not. Otherwise, they're getting me on that end. They might be in partnership with the cancer businesses,
there you go.
the chemo
Everybody's all
companies.
connected.
And that's another thing. I watched a documentary on that, and they say the same thing, that all these companies are sponsoring, the benefits, like the chemo benefits, or you know what I mean, all kinds of disease benefits. You'll see all these companies on there, but you're like, wait, they're the ones that make processed food, or wait, they're the ones that supply this medical stuff, these medicines and that kind of stuff. It all comes full circle.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I just try to live life as much as I can, as clean as I can. If you get cancer, try to beat it, and I'll help you beat it and everything,
I mean, you kind of know how you got cancer in a way, right? It was kind of...
They were tying it back to my father, Agent Orange from Vietnam, just adverse side effects, later on in life. And so his genetic makeup was altered and passed down, and then it just started affecting me at 34, I believe. Yep. So 35, something like that.
So
Yeah.
that kind of, I mean, him being in the military kind of helped you out with basically
The health insurance side, or you still get covered on that?
Well, yeah, it was, they were mainly helping my mom out, you know, and then there's something, sometimes there's, I don't know what the next of kin or something like that. Certain things are covered while other things are not, and I think it's actually being battled right now as to if leukemia is being caused by, you know, genetic mutations and stuff like that from, you know,
Agent Orange.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's they're trying to get it to pass, but
This is Trump stuff administration.
I don't know. I
don't know whose phone that is.
thought I had that turned down.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I had it turned down.
It's like, whose phone is that? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like they just try to save money for the rich at any way possible. It's like you would think, like, I mean, you would think people are out to watch other people. You know, like, oh, I got your back, but it's really not like that in this world. You know?
United.
Yeah, we're
That's
not.
the first word. United. United States of America.
Look what's going on now.
You know, we're supposed to all be one. You know, it's not been that way for quite a while. You know, I'm sure it's always, you know, kind of had its sides to it. You know what I mean?
It's
but
dark history, but
some things were covered, and yeah, you'd watch it different ways from media. But now with the cell phones, you know, with the Facebook, it's instant.
Instant, yes.
A cop pulling somebody over, then shooting them in their car. And they're recording. That's instant live feed. I mean, that's coming right to you. That happening. It's clear quality. You know, I mean, everybody can see what's going on. And they're supposed to wear these cameras now, I guess. But sometimes I see videos where they say they shut the camera off during this part.
Well, just like that. I think it was like in New York, that cop, like these cops were trying to bust some kids or something. I don't know what happened in it, but when before they turn on their camera or something like that, it still records like 20 seconds afterwards or something like that, and they caught the cop like putting drugs.
Baltimore, is that what you're talking about?
Oh, was it Baltimore?
Damn.
Yeah, they actually caught the
planting heroin and stuff in his car. I mean, that's big charges right there. And this,
damn.
Yeah, it's
right there in the camera. It showed the dude planting it, and it's like, man, that's what they do. And then like this is the reason why people are protesting. You know, it's not they're protesting the national anthem and protesting the military. No, they're protesting what's going on in this country. You know, people kneeling down, whether you're against it or with it. You know, it's like they have every right to. That's what America's based off. You know, you can protest these things, and I mean, I think we're in a sketchy time right now. I mean, with especially with the whole rights, the First Amendment. You know, I mean, you either label the KKK Nazis as a terrorist group,
or they're fine people.
Or
that's one statement I've seen Trump say, that these are some fine people.
It's like
what? That's just straight saying like, hey, I support this kind of thing. You know what I mean?
But yeah, he's going harder on
I don't
like a quarterback of the NFL for kneeling, protesting
on Twitter, like just shouting, or even
what kind of president is that? Like, I mean, I can't imagine if you had Twitter back in like World War II or John F. Kennedy tweeting or something. But it's like this is a whole new time of like
they wrote notes and then they put it in bottles and they put it in the ocean and hope somebody would find it. And then nobody found it.
That's why you had Paul Revere song. You know, that was a texting and twittering. It's like this motherfucker's riding through horse hoping he gets to the next place, but. Man, like you gotta think about it. Like we're in a time now where, like, even like think about if Bill Clinton had a Twitter. Like I just got ahead and you know what I'm saying? Tweeting that shit. Oh, I'm gonna Snapchat that shit.
Snapchat me that pussy if it's cool. You're playing Young Gotti in the background.
Oh man, it's just a different time. I think it's crazy and stuff. I mean, Obama didn't get a Twitter and stuff till like it's probably last year in office. He wasn't tweeting bullshit, starting fucking World War III over Twitter.
Well, you know, a lot of people look at Trump, you know, for some reason as a businessman. He only had one small loan of $1 million.
one
small loan of $1 million from his father. This is a statement he made as well. It's like, damn, I wish I had a $1 million loan. That'd be great. I could probably do some things too.
Not to mention his dad's wealth, you know, and helping him out with businesses and taking over different hotels or whatever they had. What was it?
I don't know. All I seen was him on the Apprentice show, and then I seen him here and there in that WWE or WWF, whatever it's called nowadays.
Stone Cold laid the smack down on his ass.
Her and his orange face. He'd always come out and then she was super caked with makeup, man. It was great.
Yeah, he's still like that. But yeah, anyway, yeah, these
That's
times,
just funny.
these times are crazy, dude. Like that's what's going on, man. Brian, I know Brian. He tries to stay away from like politics and listen to the news and.
You know, I don't really get too much into politics either, even though I've said a few things tonight. But you know, I work with some people that he's a big Trump supporter. But then again, my girlfriend's Hispanic and a lot of her family is back home, so she sees it in a different way. And they had met at one point.
Excuse me for a second.
She went to pick up her car.
We'll take a break here in just a moment. We'll be right back.
All right, we're back. I had to answer a couple calls and texts, emergency.
It's more important than I guess me and
Than
Ryan
your
over
story
here.
and stuff. My bad.
You know, I actually sometimes when I'm telling stories, there's a few people that I've talked to that they have short attention spans or they just don't give a shit about what I'm saying.
That wasn't me.
No. But then they'll, you know, I'm telling them and their eyes are wandering like they just seen a ghost. They're just, and I'm like, this dude ain't even paying attention. But he'll cut me off prematurely, and then.
Or they'll say, "Oh, that's crazy."
Oh, that's
Oh,
crazy.
that's
And you're like,
crazy.
what's that crazy? I didn't even say anything that would be crazy.
He's like, "Oh, that's crazy." You already know, like when you're talking to someone, it's like, "Oh, that's crazy, man. That's crazy." And it's like, okay, you don't give a shit. All right, I get it.
Yeah, well, I mumble a lot. You know, my nickname in my buddy's phone is Mumbles. The first time I met Mushmouth. Never called me that one, but same concept. Yeah. I first met my girlfriend.
That's crazy.
And called her the first night.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. And she couldn't understand me. She just laughed for no reason. I'd be like,
That's crazy.
"Why you laughing?"
Okay.
Not that. She'd be like, "Why you?" I'd be like, "Why you laughing?" I didn't even say anything that was like supposed to be remotely funny. And I was like, "You don't know what I'm saying, do you?" She's like, "No." I was like, "All right."
That's crazy.
She just cut me off because that's crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy, dude.
That's Luis's new phrase.
Dude, fucking who I
I
hate
say
to
that a lot, but it's not that I'm not paying attention. I think it's
I
just
never noticed it all. Now that I think of, now I'm gonna be all self-conscious. Like every time I'm talking to Brian, even on the panel. Oh, that's crazy, dude.
That's crazy.
Fucking,
That's fucked up.
we were friends, dude. Matt Dillon, that motherfucker would always say that's crazy, and I'll be like, dude, whatever, man.
You
I'll
ain't
be like,
even listening.
I'll be like, fuck you, man. He's a friend of mine. He's a friend of mine. But he's shout out to him. He's in Cali right now. He's an old drummer, bass player for Project Luna. Yeah, Matt
Dillon.
Matty. He's an actor now. Hopefully he's in the gonna be in the next
yeah, that's
Mission
right,
Impossible 50.
5,000.
Yeah,
You're off a couple zeros. It's a Mission
No, but he would
5,000.
always do that to me. I'll be talking to him and be like, "Oh, dude, that's crazy." I'm like, "Dude, fuck you."
Well,
But you're talking about your girlfriend, this whole Trump stuff in the office. You're saying you're working with people who support Trump, and she's obviously Mexican, and I'm obviously Latino Mexican too. So
I meant to ask you too, though. I mean, do you ever face adversity, being Hispanic?
a lot of people. Okay, that's one of my things, like on social media, like when people post stuff about like, oh, the Confederate flag's heritage, this and that. They shouldn't be kneeling and all this stuff. Of course, it's like minorities are minorities. Of course, blacks have their thing, Mexicans, everything, But even like growing up, I could say when I'm hanging out with my friends and let's say we get in trouble by the cops, you're playing tag or something. Dude, we used to get in trouble for playing tag. We're in a neighbor's yard, someone's calling the cops at night on you, okay? I'd be the one riding, like most of my friends were white. I lived in a white neighborhood. And I'd be the one in the back of the squad car having to go home out of everybody, out of this group of kids, going home and getting dropped off. And my mom's like, "Oh, well, why is he? What about the rest?" And it's like, "Well, he's the ringleader or something like that." It's like, what?
What?
We got caught with fireworks one day, and out of everybody they left at the park, they took me in the back, cuffed me, and took me in the back, the squad car, and took me home. And my mom's like, "Are you like?" She wouldn't even let me go back outside. And this is when I was a kid, I mean,
I'm gonna start introducing you as ringleader Louie.
That's what I said.
but I
Since
feel
the beginning. Since
like
the beginning of time.
a lot more like on social media. Like my thing is like when people say, "Oh, Trump's office, who cares?" And if they're white, they're like, "Yeah, it's easy for you to say who cares when it doesn't affect you." People are like, "How does it affect you now?" When my niece is in middle school, and I hear her, coming home, and my sister, and like they're talking about like what's going on lately. Especially last year, it was last year when they're, the whole everybody's chanting "build that wall," You know, you had Millard kids at school
That's
chanting,
cool, yep.
build that wall,
Bunch
build
of
that
privileged
wall.
white kids at
Yeah.
at that private school.
Well, my niece, who's young, you know, Kenzie, I have a niece, and she's in middle school. I think it was 8th grader. I don't know. Yeah, 'cause she's a freshman this year. So, but she comes home and tells her mom what happened in school this day. This little girl, I think she was like a Dominican or something, in school was getting picked on by these little white kids. And you know, these little white kids, I wouldn't say they're racist. I think they learned it from home. They had to have, you know. Where are they getting this? They're getting it from social media. They're getting it from, you know, they're learning it, and they're picking on this little girl and telling her to go back to Mexico and build that wall. First off, she's not even Mexican. She's Latina, but she's not Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
And my niece, who's Mexican, sees this happening and think, you know, good thing that she was a popular girl in school. You know, she's out with the popular kids, and saw this little girl crying while these white kids are yelling that at her. She goes up and defends her, and like, you know, she shouldn't have said stuff, but she's like, you know, you're no bad, you're not any good, you're white trash and all this stuff, you know. But I mean, she shouldn't have went that low. But at the same time, she defended this girl, and luckily that she was popular, the rest of the kids kind of joined in and, you know, made this kid back off, and, you know, she helped out this little girl. If my niece wasn't there to see this, who knows how that little girl would have been, you know, at the end of it. But I mean, then like that's certain things that affect me, because you know, I'll be like, fuck, like I remember in high school you had fucking dudes with trucks with Confederate flags, and I was called a sand nigger when I'm not even fucking from Saudi Arabia or you know, terrorist.
Now you're being stereotypical. No,
You know, but
that's just what it means.
Yeah, that's what they call them. And
I
they
get
like,
it.
you know, this. I was talking to some girl and her brother and stuff, and they were all rednecks and had their trucks and stuff, Confederate flag waving guys, and you know, they're calling me a sand nigger. I was at a party with a couple friends, and we had to bounce because one of my friends was black, and they didn't like that. You know, so we left, and I can say many things. I was at another party where we're chilling. This was in South O, but it's like, you know, like it's Bryan High School, whatever. And we're sitting there, and I'm at a party, and they're chanting, "Fuck the Mexicans," and that stuck with me throughout the years. And I'm like, you know, fuck these people. Like, and there's a lot of reasons why I wasn't cool with a lot of like people during high school. A lot of people like, oh, why don't you go to parties and stuff? I'm like, because I don't want to hang out with fucking people like you guys, you know. So yeah, it does affect me, I think. And I mean, which ways are you trying to say, like, when you said if it affects me or?
Oh, I mean that right there.
There
I mean,
you
do you face adversity? Basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up with equal, you know, amount of friends in different races. You know, blacks, white, Hispanics, you name it. You know, even Indian. You know, so with that, I've heard and I've seen, you know, different remarks, you know, racial slurs and that kind of stuff. Being white sometimes, though, even being white, people want to automatically assume that you're racist too. I'm like, you don't even know me. It's personality. It's not my skin color. You don't know me. If you know me, you know that I respect everybody. Actually, I dated a Hispanic girl. You're introduced to a whole new culture, especially when I went to Mexico. Nobody there spoke English. You know what I mean? I had to use Google Apps because I'm not that good at Spanish. Or what is it?
Translate.
Google Translate, yeah. And we talk back and forth like that for a little bit. But they treated me with the most, you know, utmost respect, hospitality. Made sure I have food all day, every day, crab, fish, you name it. First night I got there, we pulled up, and I didn't know where I was. It was super dark, and we pull in this alley back to this house that all their backyards kind of meet, and they own this big lot of property. And it had been a long day, you know what I mean? I flew 9 hours over rivers and stuff. That reminded me of like National Geographics, you know, when they would go over like the Amazon and stuff, dark waters, you know, just all green grass around, random trees here and there, but it just looked really tropical and that kind of thing. I was culture shocked, you know. I ain't never been out of the United States before, and nothing but, you know, respect down there. To me, went bike riding with her aunt the next day, 120-degree weather. Ooh, it was hot as shit. You know what I mean? And we got food every day. We went and got cervezas that night, Coronas right across the street. First thing she says, you want to get some drink? I was like, yeah. And we went across the street, got a case of beer, came back, and they got me some crab right away. I mean, like I said, they're good people too. You know what I mean? They got good work ethic too. So
I'd have to say that Mexican community has the best work ethic,
Mhm.
in my
My
opinion.
mom and dad would be like, "Oh, I don't know where my son is." He's lazy. but yeah, I mean,
And they're hard workers.
Yeah,
They're doing shit for, we had that hailstorm that we had. Our whole neighborhood was shredded with hail on their roofs and stuff, and it took Reed over here had his roof redone by a crew of Mexicans, and it was fucking hot. It
Yeah.
was. You were taking showers every 5 minutes, and these guys were up on the roofs, just slaving away, and they knocked it out in 5 hours, something like that. Well, Bob over here had a crew going on, and they were taking a long time. It was just just a normal crew, and so the work ethic there is.
What's I mean, not like we're not being racist on here, but that crew was Mexicans and this crew was.
They were white.
Yeah.
And
does that go with privilege? Like we're getting this wall, or we had to fit not this wall. We're getting this roofing done, but I want to take my time. We need more breaks. When these guys feel like they need to get it done right and fast.
I mean they were up there just smoking away on cigarettes and stuff, and just moving kind of slow, and they didn't want to say anything, and if you ever get to listen to this podcast, I'm truly sorry, but it's they could have been a lot quicker, that's for sure. And the people that were doing our roof, how it didn't take long to actually do the roof, but it sure as fuck took forever for them to actually get started.
Yeah.
It took our shingles were in our driveway for over 2 weeks. Nothing was happening, and it was just one problem after another. And there's just a work ethic that
different.
It's just different.
It's different. It's a different lifestyle. Definitely. I mean,
and I've always said like every race has its trash. Every race has its problems, dude. Like,
yeah,
it's just right now. It's just like I said. It's a sketchy time because you being white, that doesn't automatically make you racist. Doesn't make you you're a KKK Trump supporter, does it? So I don't know. That's why I'm saying like it's kind of like a sketchy time. It seems like 2 years ago everybody started getting offended by a lot of different things. You saw the left side, I guess, the liberals and all that, coming out with all the gay rights, lesbian rights, and all this different Dream Acts, all these different things. And then now it's like the right side is like pissed off about it. But why would you be pissed off about giving equal rights to people? What's wrong with that? That's the side that's coming out now. Like Trump is bringing out these racist fucks, and people just hate.
When he started running for election, I don't want to spend too much time on talking about politics. And
I don't want to spend on Trump.
Exactly. I don't want to talk about him either. But, when he first came out, that's when everybody started really coming out of the closet and showing their, true colors and everything like that. And it's sad to say, there's people that you never thought were like that until it became
a thing.
Okay. Or, you know what I mean, to say that stuff.
I had to delete a lot of people. I'm sure a lot of people deleted me off Facebook, but I saw my numbers drop during this whole thing. You're just like, man, really? You're supporting this shit? Like, you're saying that right now? Like, I can't, And then if I post something, they'll be, they'll want to fight their side on there. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this, man. Like, I don't know you anyways. I knew you back then, but this is different now.
My final statement on that is that I judge a person on their personality, not their race. You know what I mean? That says enough right there. Is how you talk to the person, how they represent themselves, and what they do in life. Not necessarily like work and stuff, but I'm just saying in general, if they have a bad past, that they've done this and done that, I judge it on that. You know what I mean? I don't judge on their race.
I'm the same way. It's like until they do something wrong to me, or I see why people don't like this person, then that's when I judge. Like just kind of like anybody that comes to work or someone new, I'm like, give him a shot. You don't know how this person is. He's new. We all been there.
And
then as soon as or like a new boss, I'll give him some time. Oh, he's a dick. Well, look, he hasn't done nothing to me yet. So
as a boss, you gotta be. There's times where you can joke, talk to people, friendly. Let that go too much, and then people are gonna want to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Start slacking and stuff, and saying, "Hey, look, he's cool."
Well, you manage, so you know how that goes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's when I stepped into the position that I'm in with the company I'm with now, the one thing that I didn't want to do is just be that guy that come in and start changing shit and stepping on toes and stuff. You know, I wanted to develop, you know, a nice work relationship. And the one thing that I learned actually really quickly, and it wasn't necessarily with this job, it's clearly been with previous ones, but, you know, when you're coming into something new, the people there more than likely have got a way better idea of what's going on than you do. You know, so, you know, take their thoughts and their suggestions into consideration. You know, operate with them and not, you know, above them right away. We get it. We're in management. We need to do it. We need to make sure that, you know, people stay motivated and, you know, they've got direction and stuff, and some need more direction than others. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. They're just really good followers. They might not be leaders, but they're just, you know, they're a good coworker. So I guess with that being said, running the department that I have been for a while, I still, to this, you know, a year and a half later, I still am always asking them, you know, can I have you do this for me? You know, it's, the delivery is just so much more effective, you know, because you're including them. They feel important. They feel like that what they're doing matters. And very rarely do I ever leave work without thanking them for all the hard work they've done. Even if they were having an off day and they really weren't all that productive, it makes such a big impact. So, yeah.
I feel that way too when you're more included. But I mean, I get it. If you step up, like even if I like started managing something, you know, I'd have to change with the people I talk to. You know, you can't do the same shit that you did before because you're kind of company man now. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Other than that.
So Dave, I'm gonna hit you with some rapid fire questions here.
Boom, boom, shoot 'em.
Pet peeves. Hit me with a pet peeve.
Yeah.
We got too many to think through here.
First one off top of the head.
Well, yeah, we'll bring you through your regular work day. Your
At work? You talking about work?
Yeah, hit me with a pet peeve
That's
at
a
work.
whole other one.
Dude, there's so much drama. Okay, I work in the car industry, you know, selling Hondas. With that, you have all kinds of manufacturers, and they're all, you know, separated in quality. You know, they obviously cost a certain price for a reason. You know what I mean? But just the workers, it's such a high turnover rate, and these workers just, I won't say crying, but I mean, you know, they're just always pouting. Like, we just had this dude that just got fired. He had been there for approximately 2 months, sold like 3 cars a month. Well, he called one of the other coworkers a bitch. And she might have been, you know, kind of coming off that way. But at the same time, I'd walk down the hall with him, and he would not even say hi to me. He would just kind of have his head down, open, you know, not really friendly. You got to be a real friendly person, you know, and talk to people, keep conversations going, and that kind of thing. But we have females there. We have guys there. We have guys that come from Russia. We've got guys that come from Georgia, but not the Georgia in Atlanta, the Georgia over by Russia, you know, over on the other side of the world. And culture's so different over there that my girlfriend was giving a haircut because she's a stylist to this guy from that Georgia place. So let's just say Russian, okay? And he was saying in front of her that men are superior to women. And that's the same vibe he was giving off when he worked with us as well to the other, you know, female staff. But just coming back and forth with that drama is just, like, you don't even want to be there. You know what I mean? You don't even want to talk to these people because all they're doing is pouting. You know what I mean? We're there to make money. Don't focus on each other's lives. Focus on that work. You know, focus on, you're not there to hang out all day and get to know people, like your coworkers, and hang out with them. You can. That's cool. That's great if you have that kind of atmosphere. But in general, you need to focus on getting that deal, getting the customer, going on to the next one, making money. Because you spend, and this is another thing about just work, minimum wage. Does somebody want to be there for 40 hours a week and not get anything out of it, not get any benefit out of it? You know what I mean? So what's the point of going somewhere if you're not making any money and just pouting all day? But I have people selling cars for me as an internet manager. and then you don't make any money. I don't make any money because they ain't doing anything to make money. So I mean, a pet peeve is just basically just people that want to mope about the little things, about nothing. You know what I mean? We're in a first world country. You know, we have privileges. We have the resources to do things to make money. I mean, we're in the United States where you're trying to make the next buck. You know what I mean? It's business ethic in the United States. And then the people that just, they have opportunity. Like I hear it from the other side in second world countries. They would strive for the opportunity to come up here. They would strive to come up here just to make life better, to make money, to be able to do certain things in life, be able to take care of their roof, their house, their car, their food. You know, other places, they don't know how they're going to eat next. You know what I mean? So it's like you wake up every day, go to work. Hey, I got something to do today. I got something that's going to keep that roof over my head. You know what I mean? So I'd say that's my biggest pet peeve is just people crying in the first world countries. You know what I mean? Just like they have it bad. You know what I mean?
Buicks.
Buicks? You like Buicks? Is that what you're
No. Buicks is my pet peeve.
Oh.
Buicks. Buicks.
We're talking about cars. They're Buicks.
Buicks seem to have a 45-mile-an-hour governor on them. You ever notice that shit? Every time you get behind a goddamn Buick.
It could be the person driving it. I'm not saying they're all old, but, you know, it is an older person car.
Yeah.
Typically, yeah. I mean, if you're going to be stereotypical with the Buicks, it's the older people that want that badging on their Chevy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't like the Buicks.
Have you had a Buick before? Is that why?
No. I've had 173 vehicles since I was 14 years old.
Oh shit!
But
no Buicks.
Not one of them was a
Oh,
Buick.
see?
My buddy had a Buick Century in '85. It was just one of those tight, compact ones. But
and he's the one that had the governor on it, and you were telling him your shit's weak like daily when you're driving with him, or what?
he didn't have a governor on his because we drifted around a corner in a rainy day, and he took out a fire hydrant.
So was it rear wheel drive?
No, this one was the front wheel drive. Yeah, these were those 4-door sedans that you had your Buick Century, you had your Oldsmobile Cutlass SE, I think it was, and then there was a third one, but yeah, it was your just your typical entry level, but yeah, I mean he pushed it to its limit.
We all do. I feel like I'm pushing my car to its limit right now, and I got 18,000 miles on the damn thing. You know. We both had Chevys too.
Yeah, I like Chevy. They last. Shit. My old Cavalier was like a 97 Cavalier. Had over 200,000 miles on it, plus more. I don't know how much more we added after that, because I mean, it ran for
Speedometer
5 more years. You remember that? There's like a gold Cavalier I had. That thing.
Oh no, yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that. I was thinking of the Cobalt when you said that.
No, the Cobalt, no. But the Cavalier lasts me forever. If you take care of
Your
them,
parents
change the
sell that
oils.
yet?
Huh?
Your parents sell my wing?
No, that's not. Oh, wait a second. I think it is gone.
Yeah.
I think it is gone. Yeah, I did not see that in the driveway today when I went over there.
Oh,
They
good.
sold the Cobalt.
Gone.
My Cobalt. He wanted that
I wanted
wing.
the wing. I
He
wanted
wanted that
it
wing.
Oh, the
Right.
spoiler on the back of it.
Yeah.
It looked like a SS with that, even though it was an
Oh,
SS.
wasn't it? Oh, I always thought that was an SS.
You always
man.
thought it was an SS?
You be fake shifting and everything. I was
Dude,
like,
I was like,
he's making noises. He's like, like I'm like, this dude's got
I had a
NOS on there.
little spray can on the side. You know, CO2 cartridge. But
I used to be like that with my Cavalier. I had a body kit on it. Funniest thing ever, man. The thing was so heavy for that little engine it had on there. And you know the Fast and the Furious movies, they come out and you're like, oh shit, I'm about to hop in this. You know, you're not even going fast at all compared to an actual race car.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people pull up to me and they're like, want to race? I was like, no, because you're just gonna fucking beat me. I got a little ass engine in this fucking thing. It looks sick though, don't it?
it looks sick though. It did.
It did. It
It
had
did look
18-inch
sick.
chrome rims and everything.
Little
man.
red Cavalier you had.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, pet peeve. I don't know if this is really an important one, but like hot girls on social media. Okay.
You don't like that, huh?
No, no, it's not that. It's just that they could post a status and have 100-something dudes just liking it, and like, oh yeah, I'm here for you and all this stuff, or like they could post anything they want and just have so many people just like kissing their ass. I just hate that. Like they could post something like I don't know, anything about Trump, anything about what they think about social media or this and that. They can be negative for like a day, and then the next day be like, go out and see the world and kiss a flower or something, or go out and do this. But yeah, the next thing you know, like they have like so many likes on it off of this one post. I don't know. That just pisses me off. or like social media models. Like
Maybe.
everybody's a model nowadays.
Hey, bro. I got a lot of new clothes. I got a lot of new nice boots and everything. I'm looking good. I lost a lot of weight. I was actually thinking about throwing some up there. You can make some money from that, actually.
Doing what?
Modeling clothes. If you ever see those ones where they're modeling clothes and then they throw a little paragraph in the bottom and they give you a link to click that, if they buy that say it's a shirt that you're
Well, I don't see
you're
links
repping.
for these girls.
Well,
repping
you're probably talking about girls that are just sticking their butts out with like bikinis on and
that
shit, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess. Yeah.
But I mean, there's different aspects to modeling on Instagram and stuff too. But I appreciate styling. I appreciate your accessories and stuff just to look good. You look good, you feel good about yourself. It makes your day better, honestly. And then you can actually benefit from it, if you do it right and you do it.
So you just like contact the person that you're wearing the clothes from, the company?
I think people kind of start out doing their own thing. They have their own clothes, their own boots.
Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about that then. That's a little different.
You're talking about just
Just
girls that are being ratchet and then
and go on there and then
like
like post like inspirational quotes, but the next day they're like.
But who's the people that are liking it? Who's the people that are following it? Are we talking about some guys that have nothing else to do in life that are just like
I don't
scrolling
know.
over a picture they see on Instagram, hoping this girl will contact
Well, I guess
them
every
back?
guy kind of likes.
I know what you're
picture of a
talking
hot
about.
chick.
I mean, I've seen them. I got an Instagram and I follow healthy eating and I follow all this other stuff. And even when I look into clothes and stuff, I see these girls that are modeling. But I've also seen other stories too, like the one. Kind of what I'm telling you about now is this girl didn't like the side of modeling and being sponsored because you had to look a certain way. If you didn't look that way, you couldn't eat. You know what I mean? Couldn't eat because you need to have that tight ab look and stuff like that. She said it just got draining to her over time and it wasn't even worth it anymore. But I mean, if are you talking about
just a regular person on Facebook that's like posts pictures, like they could be negative, the next post is super positive and inspirational.
Okay, you're talking about these people that are back and forth on everything,
Yeah.
just trying to get likes.
I think that's a
You
pet
know
peeve
what
for me.
the likes world. That's crazy too. You get likes and your self-esteem goes up.
Oh, I mean, I
Yeah,
feel good every time
3,000
I
likes.
post something stupid, and I was like, he liked. Oh, dude, this dude liked it.
He liked it. He feels me. You know. what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's cool. Oh, she liked it too.
We
Oh, that's
connected
cool.
for about 5 seconds on that.
Yeah,
line.
it's like when they show you like those memes that go up on there. It's like like one like is one prayer for this kid to get food or whatever.
No, you see, I understand.
And
what you're
they
saying
dump a
about
whole
those.
bucket of likes in Africa and be like, here you go, here's all the likes. I don't know what you're gonna do with them. The social media like didn't really do shit.
Press like if you believe in Jesus. If you don't comment, then you don't care about your life.
Yeah, you're gonna go to
Well,
hell.
what the fuck are you talking about?
It's like Jesus that he has a Facebook. It's like you don't know. I guess you don't know. Maybe he does. That's another thing that's
Maybe.
crazy to me is
That's crazy.
I didn't give a shit about
Hey,
that.
you brought
That's
that
crazy.
back around.
No, but like
Told
literally,
you.
like this is crazy to me. Is that the internet is like a whole other world? Fuck you guys. The internet's a whole other world. That is
shit.
crazy.
I told you that's Louis' catchphrase now.
That's crazy.
But like the internet's like a whole other world. Like we talked about South Park, how they had this the Facebook episode. Do you guys ever remember that? You had it was called Zero Friends. No, you guys never watched that one? Oh man, that's a good one. But
Was it with Stan's dad? Or Kyle? No, I think it was Stan's dad.
it was with Stan. He basically got on social media that he didn't want to, but his friends made him to like go on Farmville and feed their crops.
Didn't
and like
his dad get addicted to it though? And then
he had it too, but like
Okay.
he goes in there, he's like, Stan, so I see you got a Facebook. You didn't add me, so he's like, are we friends or are you gonna add me? Or he's like, no, Dad, I don't even want to be on that. He's like, so like, are we friends or not? It's like, dude, it's his own dad, He's like, so we're not friends, Because I mean, that some people were like
No,
that. It's
yeah,
like, you didn't add me on
They're
Facebook.
too
It's like,
worried about it.
it's like, dude, you didn't add me on Facebook. I love Facebook. I've been on that shit for
And
so many. Like,
back when MySpace came out and you could pick your top 8. You weren't on that top
Oh, if
8.
you
And
weren't on
you
the
thought
top
you were
8,
supposed to be on the top
yeah.
8, man. That created
It's like, dude, I
fucking
hang out with
drama.
you, man. We just played Tony Hawk yesterday, dude. What the
Oh, you want to
fuck?
hang out tonight? Oh, how come on your top 8, bro?
So that song
That's
you
corrupt.
posted on there,
Oh, you can put one song right
yeah,
now,
you
is
put
that-
that song on there. It's like, is that about me? And some girls posting all these sad songs on. Is that about me? But you had to actually go on their wall to see what they posted and see like if you're on their top 8. Then they made a top 10.
Hey, Tom fell behind on everything.
No, he
You
sold that
created.
shit, man.
Oh, did he sell
He
it? Oh,
sold
so it
that
came
shit.
up. Okay, I get
He
it.
sold MySpace for I don't know how much, but that dude's rich. He's probably just.
There was like MySpace Music at one point too. That was supposed to be
It was supposed to be good.
really good. Catch a lot of people's eyes on new bands that were coming out. I never really got into that. You guys ever get into that?
A lot of bands got big off that. I know.
Social media is probably equal to my politics.
So
It's,
does that take place of your pet peeve?
Yeah,
Is it
actually,
second close?
probably a little bit. It's yeah, as much as people are wrapped up into. I think a good purpose for social media would be just like what you said. One scene, one love, excellent. Purpose for social media, but when you are so concerned throughout your daily life to make sure that you keep your streak going, and it's just random pictures that mean nothing, I don't know. It's just everyone is so wrapped up into it, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not that I question it so much, but yeah, I don't know. I think the people that just really take it so personal and overboard.
As someone who was addicted to it, I could say like, yeah, I broke my phone just like a week ago, and I've been on it, but like kind of off. I'm not on it constantly. My girl hates it when I'm on it. It started fights before. We're on the phone all
You
the
got
time.
the shakes.
Yeah, I'm just like, I need to get on there.
He picks it up
But
just to go like this.
basically. So my phone's
do
been
this shit.
busted, so I have like this other phone that I barely get on any now, and being off Facebook and stuff for a while was like kind of refreshing. I was like, man,
Feel
like,
a little liberated from.
a little bit. Like I'm not on there constantly checking it, and even when I was like checking it, like it felt good, but like.
It's like
You see all these people posting like how happy they are, and you're like, that motherfucker ain't like that. That dude ain't going. They're not made of money.
That's crazy.
But you know what I'm saying? Like
I was on my Facebook. Sorry, bro. I wasn't paying attention.
Whatever, dude.
No,
But that they post like you had to have this image on there. A lot of people I feel like post so much stuff and like their life is happy, and they can bring you down and be like, oh fuck, I'm at work. And these people are constantly doing stuff. And it's like, I don't have that. Like it could almost bring you down. Like how you said, don't compare and mope. Like at work, you're saying like, don't compare your life kind of to someone else's because you're gonna hurt yourself. You get mentally. You're gonna be like, oh, well, how come I don't have that? You always gonna just like compare yourself to yourself. Like, oh, how was I like a year ago?
You
I'm
gotta
doing
figure
way
out
better.
how do I get that? You gotta figure out I need to do something else to get to that next step.
Yeah.
It's not,
But not everybody on social media is actually that happy either. I mean,
No,
you don't want to go on there and be negative all the time. But I'm just saying, like, when you see people posting all these fake things on there, it's like, okay, they're not like that.
Well, get on healthy eating habits and stuff like that. I followed this. I don't, you click one thing, just like you click one thing on YouTube, and then you click another thing, and you're on a whole different tangent.
Yeah.
But the way this Instagram works is you click on something, it's going to keep popping up because you were interested in that before. So I clicked
like
on
the hashtags.
the hashtags.
There you go.
That's exactly what brings you back. You click one of those, or you like one picture, then it's going to give you things that are like that. Similar, basically, yeah. And then there's a lot of stuff that's talking about, is this real on the left picture? Is this photoshopped on the right picture? And it could be a girl, like you're talking about, with a flat butt, per se, or the next one being a big butt. And you're a photographer, right? Now, you got your own business? You do just side stuff?
Just amateur stuff. It started with a hobby, and it still is. But by keeping it a hobby, then you're not overwhelmed with
Doesn't
the
take the fun
business
away.
aspect of it.
Yeah, it's fun for you. You like doing it.
Yeah.
Capturing the moments for people. But what do you do mostly, you'd say, with that? Is it portraits of people?
Kind of what you see behind you here. It's just kind of building my own photography gallery. Things for me more than anything. I've done some, over here we've got some anniversary photos that we did for St. Lucia, and doing some senior pictures for my daughter and some neighbors and things like that. We did for one of my other neighbors. We did a family photo shoot, and photography in the beginning, for me it was more architectural, but because I guess I just didn't know how to handle all the little nuances of working with families and things like that. But yeah, portraits have gotten pretty cool.
With architectural with architectural, step away from the mic. Are you talking similar to this picture right here with that hallway? You got that certain angle, and you try to capture that certain lighting and give it in that atmosphere. See, I really like that aspect of it. I mean, obviously you can make money, doing that family portrait or doing that couple portrait type thing. But I really appreciate that hallway, because that hallway in person, that would look way different than what you portrayed it to be right there. You made that your own basically by, turning your camera, doing the different stuff with the lighting. Like I said, when I was getting into this, I kind of wanted to model clothes and that kind of thing. I had this nice Canon camera, SL1. I think it's kind of like an entry one, but it's nicer than a cell phone. But I just don't know much about, 30 millimeters, 50 that kind of stuff. The stuff you can do with your camera, the lighting and all that. But I mean, a picture like that, right there, you obviously know what you're doing. Is that kind of like just self-taught, messing through stuff, or doing research, or do you know other people that kind of taught you along the way? Or
Well, I went to school for it.
Oh, okay.
Up here at Metro, and my brother was really big into photography, and he never did it for anything other than hobby-wise as well. But he had his Canon DSLR, and I was looking at this thing, and I was like, yeah, this thing's it's bitching. I want to know more about it, and he would be doing angles and things like that, and always taking photos of his daughter, and it just seemed really fun to do. So I invested into it. I knew I would have fun with it at any given time. So yeah, I just kind of went to college for it for a little bit, and it's paid off pretty good. And I got a printer studio over here, and just kind of have everything done myself, and use Photoshop, for luminance. And
when you say Photoshop, is there a certain one that you use in particular? What's the name of that Photoshop? Is it called Photoshop?
Photoshop CC.
Okay.
So you can. I mean, there's all sorts of different Photoshops out there, and a lot of the pros have those $2,000 programs. This one online, Photoshop CC, you can purchase for, I want to say it's $9 a month, maybe $10 a month, and you get full access to just a plethora of stuff that you pretty much need to go and learn about it. But once you get it, then all these steps and layers that you create, you can do. But when you get into photography, my instructor always told me, he says, you need a good foundation. You need to get a good picture so you don't have to do so much post-production. Oh, okay. So like you said, looking for that little angle that adds that nuance, the aperture on how much light you want that lens to absorb.
That's another thing I just learned about by doing a little bit of research on it, is the aperture stuff, lighting, letting it in, letting it out. Because when you take a picture with any camera, like I said, I got that entry-level camera, but it is better than my cell phone. You still see that hue over it, when you take it. You want to crisp that up, mess with the contrast, mess with the lighting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's also, because I just put it on auto, you know what I mean? I put it on auto and I snap pictures. There's stuff that you need to do or that you want to do that will make that picture better as that baseline up front, right?
Yeah, so you don't have to put so much work
exactly.
into it. But, I mean, it's fun to, to add your post-production, this whole wall back here is all high contrast black and whites. There's a purpose for it, brighten the brights, darken the darks, make it, kind of gritty, and it's pretty cool. This one right here is one of my favorite ones when I was teaching Hannah how to do photography, and there's so many reflections going on in the glass.
And that was natural, just from the glass right there?
That's right there, yeah.
That's nice.
There's all that is just adding the contrast, so it pulls out everything that's going on that sheet of glass. So yeah, it turned out pretty good. It's one of my favorite ones.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It makes me think about when you guys were talking about this, how in these times now, before people would take senior pictures at, you go to a place to take them and pay amounts of money. You get we'll give you this
Big
and this
money.
and this, big money, yes. And now, people like you, are doing it for people for cheaper or for free, because you know the person, and it's taking away business from, certain places probably closing down because of it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's now you can learn it and do it yourself and have fun with it instead of having to go pay so much money to take family portraits. Like just like my family just did family pictures like a couple of weeks ago, and before we had to go to a place and take them and whatever they charge you, and you kind of feel like it's not natural. With someone that you hire, like let's say you did it for, like you say you do band photos for us or something. You'll feel good, because I know you. I feel good. I know you, so it'll be it'll be a lot more fun that you do it other than someone I didn't know, I guess.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, it was
And
cool.
take it away.
Well, it's on that Z. I got to get that back, but the Project Luna pictures. One of my favorite ones, actually, was with Dave up on stage there, and the lighting was just incredible. Everything was dark behind him, and you had your blue guitar. It's the Ibanez or the
Was it green?
Yes.
The Yamaha?
Okay.
Pacifica?
Yeah. That I think
like
that
that
showed
guitar.
up pretty cool, and you were just in it, and
Did
it
you
looked great.
black out the background? Is that what it was? I don't even. Dude, there's so many.
It could be
pictures,
the
I don't
lights
know.
on stage.
Yeah.
Too, changes made the color look a little different.
It was perfect, as you're just shredding away.
Was
There
there a
was
fisheye lens on her?
no, that was actually
'Cause I think that was from you too. You had that kind of top angle.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice shot. Fisheye lens. You caught it. I don't know if the lights were on at the time, but it just kind of like zoomed in right on me. I think you might have went up. You stood on the corner of the stage and kind of got above me on one of those boxes or something. But yeah, that was a good shot right there.
That was a fun photo shoot,
Yeah.
and while you guys were up on stage while you were playing, that was kind of exciting. So
Show would have that would have been a Silk Underground show or something.
I think. That's the one picture I was talking about was at the Silk
Yeah.
Underground.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
But
like that
on
place.
Project Luna.
All right, on
On Project Luna.
Let's take a break here,
And then we'll be on.
uh,
then we'll come back
and then,
to Project
and then we'll
Luna.
get back to it. So
All right.
the Luna Effect. We'll be right back. All right.
We are back. All right, so we left off with Project Luna. We want to talk about it. As some of you might know, the former guitarist David Grabenschoerer, and then Brian's now my new guitarist for Project Luna, taking the stage now. So
You still run with the drop C, or what are you running with now?
A little bit of everything, actually.
How many guitars you got then?
Well, just one, but I haven't quite figured out which tuning that.
Just experimenting kind of thing.
Yeah. We're still we're in the development stage of.
what was that tuning on the song that we're working on?
That was Drop D.
Drop D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was. It sounds pretty good. It took a minute to kind of get the guitar set up. There was
You did it all yourself?
Well, I couldn't get because of the fatness of the low E, which wouldn't even be an E, but the
D then.
yeah, the thickness of that, the intonation was just kicking my ass.
Well, what strings are you using? Are you using standard strings, or you kind of got that string set up for that kind of tuning?
One thing that I've kind of learned when it comes to the strings is before they started coming out with the thicker gauges, you'd bring it down, but then it'd be too floppy because you don't have the right gauge. So I basically just bought a set of 7s and got rid of the high.
Okay.
But with that being said, then the saddles and the nut and the bridge and all that other stuff, it wouldn't house it properly. So took it back to Guitar Center and had them go through it. And I went through the intonation quite a bit, and I couldn't get the low one. So I kind of told them what was up, and they figured it out. Guy's an excellent technician up there. I forget your name, but he ended up getting it fixed, and so it sounds pretty good. But I don't know. Sometimes it sounds better as drop C. It's a little bit more pure, and it's not so muddy.
What we had,
Yeah, and then you get down and it just starts to become too inaudible. So it's
that's why we did C.
That's why you got to bump up to like a 8 string and shit like that when you want to drop it really low. Just like the dude on Deftones. What's his name? Stefan
Carpenter. Yeah, I think that's why you did C too, because we could hear more of the notes. You could do more with it. So when we're super low, it was just kind of always the same kind of like. We were at A.
With Elijah.
I think so.
Elijah had a 7-string through the A on top.
Yeah.
Set up with the 7-string, set. The A was A and then standard through the rest of it. So I mean, it sounded pretty deep. It's not just string setup, not just guitar setup. It's what you have after effects too. Your setup on your amp or your pedal. Oh, you use a pedal too?
Yeah, running through the line 6, and
nice.
We basically gonna run it through a 412 cabinet just to get that little extra crunch. But
what's the line 6? Is it the one where you can use your iPad integrated with it? Have you ever seen that one? There's a line 6 where you can download a whole bunch of presets. You can do everything Bluetooth from your iPad, the software they give you, instead of dinkering with the buttons on your. Because I don't even know, when I got that pedal, I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing half the time, because it'd give you prefixes. When it say guitar, it'd say GTR. You know what I mean? And then anything else, whether it was chorus and that kind of stuff, you kind of got the logistics of it all, but you also just kind of listened and tweaked with stuff that way. But if you really wanted to get down to the nitty gritty, I didn't have the manual for it, and I was kind of just doing it all by ear. So to do that and then do the outputs, there was different outputs. You could do powered speakers you're using, or just different monitors and that kind of stuff, the output. And it just became too much of a hassle. I needed an upgrade. So when you say that line 6, I was looking at a line of line 6s, and then I came across that one with the iPad. I thought that was really nice. And you could actually purchase or download different band setups. So if you wanted that sound like the Deftones,
I remember
you could look at search Steffen's setup, and then get that. It'd already do the customization for you, and you just apply it to your fucking pedal.
Nice.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
But again, you want your own sound and everything. I mean, you could take his sound and tweak it a little bit and say it's my sound.
It's my sound now.
But I mean, they all started from just using their own shit and then doing their own thing. That's kind of what I did. I'm assuming that's obviously what you do, just going by ear. Used to play with, what's that other band you used to play with?
DTE, Die to Exist.
Die to Exist.
Yeah.
I remember you guys were heavy as fuck, man. That was deep.
I learned a lot from those guys, quite a bit. In fact, it was mentioned in the previous podcast that it seems like those guys are doing great, and every time I think about it, I look back at how intricate that the instrumentals were, and I get lost in it because Brandon taught me so much, and it was ridiculous. It was probably one of the best learning experiences when it came to the style of music that we were playing.
So when you played, ours was kind of freestyle. We'll come up with a jam, just how we're feeling, you know what I mean? And go
you want to know the process of what it took?
Yeah, I'm saying with your guys, did you use we're going to do an A scale, we're going to do a major, minor, we're going to be on this scale, that scale kind of thing?
Well, it starts with come up with an idea. Okay, so you lay it down on the neck, and then it gets transferred into the computer, and then it goes digital. And they're running it. They build the song off of the piano, so it's very just generic. But you get past it, So once everything was built on the piano keys, then they would shift it. And here's where it got pretty interesting. The things that we would tweak, and we would change the notes. Okay, so this note doesn't quite sound like this. So they would adjust it. And then you would pretty much you would figure out what you like best on the digital feed. Then you would relearn it on the neck and figure out, the best way to play it. So then it went to, then we started recording the guitar, and then, it just kind of spawned off from there. But everything, listening back to the Gothic Demonic album, and I still have it, before the Professional CD dropped, it sounded like something from, an 80s video game, and But then when you actually played on an actual instrument, then it's just like fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that was kind of the process.
What do they call that? 8-bit? It sound like that 8-bit kind of sound that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Hey, those were dope, dude. I can listen to those now. But yeah, this is dope.
Yeah, because the synthesizers and the instruments that come along with the programs, they just don't cut it.
Oh,
no. They're just a tool to get to where you want to be at.
Yeah, lay a bass down. It's basically you start with an idea and then work from there.
Yeah.
Now, what are you guys doing now? I know you are you keeping the Project Luna name, or are you trying to do a different name? Or what?
I was thinking for a while when I talked to him about switching it, but I kind of want to keep it just to keep it going. I mean, where we're at now, it's a slow process still. I mean, we weren't too much rush to get out again. I mean, there's people asking for shows and what we're doing, but right now, I mean, we still want to write, and we never got a great CD out. We never got good recordings out. Never captured our live energy. And I think that's a big downfall of what this was. I mean, it was fun, but we never had something for people to listen. We had a couple things on YouTube, and with this next step, I think I just kind of want to record some stuff, like 3 songs, at least an EP, and make that and put it out and do it professionally. Do it the route that we're supposed to be doing it.
Professional is the key.
Yeah.
Professional is the key. And that's what somebody's going to listen to on a daily basis. That's something that's going to touch them. That's something that's going to put them in the atmosphere. One thing that I've learned when I was making my own stuff back in the day, being able to close your eyes when listening to this song and just making that atmosphere around you, making you feel like you're in that moment of time, or bringing back memories that sound recreates, or giving you new memories. Like, you listen to this song now, 5 years from now, if you listen to this song, you'll remember what was going on in your life then, but something that's low quality, it just doesn't punch through, that kind of stuff, it just nobody wants to hear. They're like, I'll just listen to the next one that's professionally done. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's, a band is image. But I think it's 50-50. And I know we've talked about it before as far as a marketing aspect. I think it's 50-50. You got to have that sound that's solid, that people like, but you also got to have, that polished sound that people are going to like, but then merchandise too, that's a whole different aspect.
Yeah.
But the sound is the main thing that's going to get people that are either, when people listen to a song, it's either, ooh, I like this, or it's just fucking garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like this shit. I don't want to listen to this shit. Fuck
Nowadays, now it's basically image and brand and whatever. Of course you got to make a beat or something, but
we have lost our audio feed, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Not the audio feed, the visual.
That's
video
crazy.
feed.
Oh, well, we'll just save the loop for next time.
Anyway, continue on. Sorry about that.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's all I got.
That's fucking crazy.
But
so you're talking. You're still talking. Like, once a musician, always a musician. Would you ever get back into it? What's it take for Dave to get back into it?
I think if I really wanted to get back into it, I would definitely have to perfect the art. I would definitely need to take some kind of course or get with somebody that can teach me a lot, because again, what I said, the recorded version, that's the thing people are going to hear. That's the people that's going to draw them to them. I, used the basic Sony Acid. I don't know if you ever heard of that program.
Oh,
yeah. It was like $60, and then I got the basic Fruity Loops. And then you could record on that Sony Acid only one track at a time. So it's not like you could record the drums and get cymbals and everything on a separate mic. It just that one take. So what I would do on my own things is I'd start a guitar riff. I would take it, I'd bring it over to this chopper thing. It's called Chopper. You basically lay out the audio file and you set the perimeters where you want it to start and stop. It was a big hassle, a big process to bring that over to Fruity Loops rather than just recording on there and being able to do it all. That got, kind of a headache. But even you can record, you can lay stuff, but then the mastering. Like when we used to hang out with Joshua Haas, that dude taught us a lot in a small amount of time, especially when you're looking at that software he had. I don't know what it's called.
I forgot.
But it gave you the spectrum of right to full left and in between of where the sound's coming out, where it's coming out towards the middle, where it's branching out towards the sides, or how you just get everything to get that cone shape he was talking about right in the middle, where it's going to reach on your full left, your full right, rather than something dropping completely if you're just panning everything to the right. You know what I mean? You got to make that atmosphere. That's what it is. It's about a vision of creating sound to put somebody in that space. You know what I mean? That musical space of where they're daydreaming. I mean, that's what it is when you listen to songs. I was thinking about that too driving the other day. I don't listen to music every day when I drive because I want to think. I want to smell the air, roll down the windows, and think to myself about just new things and that kind of stuff. When I listen to music, it puts me in that emotion. Like when I was going to make my own album, I never ended up making, but I have a bunch of different songs. I was going to call it Emotional Waves because every song was going to bring you to what that emotion exactly is of what that song's going to bring you. You know what I mean? Some people make their album and it's kind of has that name to it, and those songs are kind of generated, around that theme kind of thing. Or if it's self-titled, it's just going to be, random shit throughout the whole thing. But Emotional Waves, like every song touches you emotionally. I felt like sometimes if I just listen to songs that I keep re-listening to, whether it's gangster rap or whatnot, it puts you in that mindset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, with that, I mean, I thought the Project Luna stuff that we had back then, it was a lot of energy. It was fun. Drop C, it was heavy, a lot of energy, a little mix between rap, a little mix between hip hop, and then that experimental type of shit with the echoes on the cleans, and you know what I mean? That kind of trippy shit in there too. Yeah. So, I mean, are you guys kind of keeping it a new metal style? Because I know that's what you used to kind of have. Or are you kind of doing the modern metal? I mean, there's so many different subgenres.
Our writing, how we are right now, and like the latest song that we are writing and completed, basically, it still needs to put in like a couple things to it, but it's new metal. I mean, it has the rap flow to it. It has the strong chorus and breakdown to it. And it's something that I think new metal is something I want to keep with Project Luna. I mean, that's just it has two of my favorite genres that I like, rap and rock and metal, combine them, or I guess three in one, But also, like I've said this before, like new metal has no rules in a way. Like you can make a soft song, you can make a rap, hip hop, instrumental song. You can
make it all rock. You can make it punk.
Heavy,
or you can that, yeah.
Yeah, you can make punk, or you can even put it in metal. Straight up metal heavy, and you're still in that same kind of genre flow. Same. What do you call it? You're not considered a punk, pop, you're new metal, you're just experimental, whatever you are, and you can rap, sing, scream, So
with your background, like when I played music when I came up, if you listen to my other stuff, it's a little different because we all kind of catered as a group, and that's what you do when you become a band. You find where you all meet together and make that sound, you know what I mean? From your own, this is my style of playing. My old stuff was a little bit of rap kind of or not even just rap, but like flowing kind of lyrics. And then one song would be a sappy song, one song would be a really chill song, like just a chill back, kick back kind of vibe. One would be a fucking full on rap song. And then obviously when we went with Luna, it was heavy and sometimes chill, but still had that rock theme to it. What's your background, I guess I should say, on
full-blown metal?
Full-blown metal
is what it's probably what I play best at, just because I've been doing it for most of my guitar career, I guess, if you would say. But I've bands in the past, in my old hometown, we did some punk stuff.
When you say punk, was it the 3 chords through the whole song type punk, or?
Probably. It was fairly simplistic. Yeah. There really wasn't a whole lot to it, So I guess it was probably the epitome of rhythm guitar. There was very little change and whatnot. But after moving here, and then I started to kind of venture out, and I was playing guitar for so long, and I really didn't know much about it. I mean, I'm decent at what I do. It's there's a lot better guitarists out there. And you look at those 12-year-old kids that do nothing but play guitar for 5 years straight, and then they're just wicked.
Yeah, but you need to go to work and support
Right,
yourself
yeah,
when their
yeah.
dad's take care of them. They can just go to school, come home, and play for fucking, all night and do it again and again and again.
Yeah.
That's the thing I think about times now. Like, people are like, like people who are dads now and having kids coming up, like they're getting these kids involved in like different things. Like they're gonna be rock at photography. They're gonna rock at, they're shredding drums, shredding guitars, or singing, or knowing like they know more than what we did back in those times. Because music and everything, it's a lot more. It's a lot easier to get these things nowadays, especially right now. We got Guitar Center. You can go there. We didn't have those kind of stores really back in the day.
I mean, we had stores. I mean, I guess it's just to say what your background was. And when did you start playing guitar?
I started at the age of 13 years old, and I'm going to be 40 in February. So you would think that, oh my God, this guy should be fucking real good. I'm all right. It's all right. There's, like you say, time is very, very precious to everyone, and where you can apply it, to in your everyday life, if parts of me were like, man, it'd be pretty sweet, to be a rock god.
Mm-hmm.
And then, another part of me just looks realistic, and it's just, it's not feasible, especially at this point in time. I mean, with Project Luna, it's going to be a blast, to keep things going and stuff like that. But, the amount of time and energy that it takes to put into, becoming famous, if you will.
Or getting everybody together after work, going to meet. You live on 108th. I live all the way on 25th Street, or a little bit like 13th Street, I guess you could say, in Old Town Bellevue area. You know what I mean? To drive all the way out here, just like when you lived on 108th, you still live there now, but you live on 108th area. And then getting Tim all the way from Council Bluffs, all to come to one area.
Yeah.
After work, you got other things.
It gets harder the older you get.
Yeah, you
like
got kids. Tim had kids. I mean, we don't have kids, but there's other things.
Life, job, girl, family,
Mm-hmm.
friends. You still gotta have time for everything. And now we got podcasts now too.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's all fun. Like I told him, I was like, everybody has a hobby that they like to do, and I'm not in like the whole dream about being big that died a long time ago. But it's still something that I want to do. Because it's like some people like hunting, some people like playing games.
Oh, there's nothing like being up on stage.
No,
Yeah.
Having the crowd just vibe off.
Yeah.
It just that feels like 5
feeling
minute, 15, 30 minutes. You feel like you're a rock star, and that feels good.
Yeah, it's
It's a
cool.
good hobby.
It's about, again, back to the emotion. When I'm sitting there and I put my headphones on, whether or not I'm running through an actual amp in my pedal or plugging into my fucking iPad or GarageBand, I can pick whatever sound I want. I get lost in that sound, translating that to a group of 50 plus people, and then feeling where you're coming from at that moment in time. You made that riff for a reason. You made that riff because like, oh, I like the way this makes me feel.
And then they've caught on
and
to
they
it.
feel it. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of music, whether it's you're head banging or you're just bobbing your head a little bit. I mean, music, audio waves, it all comes vibrations. Yeah, I mean, just getting together.
That's why they always say feel the vibes, because everything's a vibration. Everything, no matter what it is in life, is all has its own frequency, all has its own like vibration. So that's why they always say like feel the vibes, man. Like the vibes of the music. I mean, you feel it when the bass hits at a show.
Yeah.
Feel it going through the air. I mean, that's the reason I do it too. Is like, I like it, and when people are feeling it, and you do have a good crowd, and a lot of people are there watching you, and like those people that are watching you are like, man, they're digging it. That's a good feeling. That's just like the best feeling
we've
ever.
had people hit us up after the show, whether it's come up to us or message us on Facebook, social media, saying, hey, man, I love that. Man, or they shout you out, Project Luna. I felt that. This is one of my favorite bands. I mean, I've heard people say this is one of my favorite bands, and, we're small time, but we touch them in that certain way, just like a higher up group, touches us that's touring around the United States or international, like Red Hot Chili Peppers, that shit touches me in a certain way. But that's the hard part, getting it to the masses. You know what I mean?
Well, then there's been some things like as of lately now, like there are people saying like, just to close this off, like the music industry has died. Like it's changed. The big deal lately was on like the whole music thing was like that Cash Me Outside girl getting signed to
How about that?
$1 million deal to Atlantic Records.
How about that?
I think she got signed to Atlantic Records.
She beat up her mom, I guess.
I don't know what she did, but she
That's what I've seen on somebody. She beat up her mom.
She basically got signed to Atlantic
Yeah, I
Records.
see her
And
music video. I
and
watched
there's-
it for about 12 seconds. It was
Yeah.
like, oh my
And then
God,
like this guy came out, that 10-second song guy. You guys ever seen him? Where
Yeah.
he like smashes up songs. He came out with the video. He used to work for a record company. And said like, this is just like a lot of people. He's like a lot of people lately have been saying like, music's dead because this girl got caught like or signed or whatever, and for no reason really. And she has writers. She didn't write all those raps. Some of them were pretty good. Some of the stuff that she was saying.
I think it just comes down to the business side.
It's
Somebody is
just
just like, ooh, this girl's getting a lot of attention.
Yeah.
You're back to your likes
Well, that's
on
basically what he was
Instagram
saying.
and
He's
your
like-
Facebook. I'm
He's
gonna
like
make
nowadays
money off
it's
this.
not like he said like it's not. They're not looking for a new Nirvana or some
Yeah.
Linkin Park band. They're just looking for who has attention.
They don't
Who's
care
doing something
about her.
stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that person has a lot of followers, raking in the money. Let's get it. I want a piece of that.
Mhm.
And that's what it's come down to. He said nowadays like bands don't get signed, or they're not looking for that shit no more. So
Some 360 deals they talk about. They take all your earnings, man. They give you
Yeah.
that up front, and you got to make it back by touring, and then you end up getting nothing
just
really
like
in the end.
what band was it that had that documentary?
30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, they're like in debt, something millions.
He played the piano. He's like, oh, yep, I just made that up, and that's theirs.
Okay.
That's the record labels, and I don't get nothing out of that.
Well, now they want to get a piece of your merch now too. They said
Yep,
after like
yep.
yeah. But I don't know. I mean, crazy world we're living in now, in different times, and we had to adapt to it. Maybe I should just like start doing some stupid shit and get.
I need to research the what were those things called? The iguanas, those animals that can adapt to anything.
Yeah.
Change my skin tone and everything.
Be a chameleon, man. You gotta be a
People are
chameleon
actually
out there.
doing that. Have you seen that? There's white people changing themselves black now, claiming to be black and all kinds of shit. It's
I,
crazy.
I think there's more to being black than just color.
Your color,
I mean,
yeah.
You got features. You got all sorts of stuff.
Heritage.
Yeah, exactly.
But all right, man. I guess we'll close this off. The Loon Effect. We had David Gravenshore. Thanks for coming on, man. We'll have you again. This
It
was
was
a fun
good.
cast.
It was good.
And Brian, any last things?
Be good at what you do.
Just do it. Just do it.
Dude, that's all.
Just do it.
Just do it.